All right, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. My name is Prince. I'm from Cyber Solutions. This is going to be my no nonsense guide on how to install Proxmox. If you guys want to, I can go through how to make a bootable
Oh, my
USB
fault. I
using
pressed
something
it too
like
close. Man. That's my
Rufus,
fault.
or there are
My bad.
a few different clients that you can use. But in this video, I'll be doing Proxmox
Yeah, I pressed
inception.
it too close.
So I'll be installing Proxmox inside of Proxmox.
Guys, it is the issue. Dang, I'm
Anyway,
the only main
to
support.
begin, you
You
need
guys
to open
aren't
up your
here.
web browser, and Google Chrome is my choice.
Really, here's a tab right now.
All right, and then navigate to this, which is the Proxmox website. I'll leave it linked in the description. So what we're going to be looking for is going to be Proxmox virtual environment, which is right here. Click learn more. All right, if you want to take a second to read, you can. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and download. And then what you want to get is the Proxmox VE 9.0 ISO installer. You want to download it unless you have a torrent client like Deluge
Oh,
or
great place. Get off looking at it, bro. Hey,
BitTorrent or
I
something
am
like
not
that.
getting
Just go
healed.
ahead and hit download. And then we'll wait for this to finish.
They're
I'll
doing
just do a
terrible,
little
bro.
cut for y'all
The only
to
helping is
once
for
it's done.
type of thing.
Alright, so it just finished. So what we can do is at this point, if you were gonna be installing it on bare metal machines, which I would definitely recommend, don't install it inside of another virtual machine. Like, don't do what I'm doing, which is Proxmox Inception. What you want to do is take that and you can put in like Rufus, and be able to make a bootable USB that you would plug up and then can install it how I'm about to install it in the Proxmox Inception. So let's do this. I'm gonna navigate to my Proxmox node, which is
Yeah, looking at it. Yes, whatever. I should
10.10.20,
have used it, whatever.
and then make sure for the port you do 8006. I already have credentials for mine, so I'm just gonna log in quickly. All right, hit OK. All right, so this is my Proxmox node right here. So what we can do is, since we already have an ISO downloaded, we can come to local, which is storage right here. Go to ISO images. I was just doing the test run, so I'll just remove this. So upload. I'm gonna upload the file. I'm gonna select that one, and then let's do this. Upload, and then let's just wait for this to upload. It should be fairly quick. All right. So task okay. So perfect. All right. So now what we can do is create a new virtual Proxmox machine. So let's go create VM, and then I'll just do Proxmox test for the name. Resource pool, I don't have any. You can start at boot whenever your Proxmox cluster turns on. You can start it. I'm not going to do that. I don't have any tags. So let's go next. For OS, do storage. Mine is local. For the ISO image, I'm going to select Proxmox. Type is Linux. I'll do this Linux kernel. Then go next. I'm going to leave all of this as default. One thing I'll note is for storage on an actual cluster, you probably want to have at least I would say you could probably get away with 250 gig as long as the VMs that you're going to be using aren't massively large or used for anything like Jellyfin, Plex, or anything where you'll need a lot of storage, and it might become an issue in the future. So what I'll do is just leave it at default, which is 32 gig, which for my use case is perfect. Actually, let me just see what is Okay. So once I have that ISO installed, what we're gonna do is come over here to create VM. Node is PV, which is my Proxmox cluster. Or it's not a cluster, it's just my Proxmox node. We'll do prox test. I don't have any resource pool. Leave everything else as default. Go to next. For storage, I'm doing local storage. Right here, I'm gonna select the image. Leave the Linux. The kernel type is Linux. Hit next. For system, I'm gonna leave everything as default. It's noted that 16 gigabytes of storage is the minimum for Proxmox, or the recommended minimum. The actual minimum is about 8 gig. I normally try to do way more than that. So if you can get like a 256 gig drive that you use for Proxmox, and also that'll give you a little bit of breathing room for your virtual machines too. So we have this, so 32 gig. We can keep that here. All right, for CPU, I'm gonna just leave it as a default. For memory, 2 gig is I believe the recommended minimum. So I'll just keep that since I'm not gonna actually be deploying any virtual machines on here. For networking, I'm gonna do Intel 1000E, which is just like a virtual network interface. All right, next, and then I'm gonna click Start after created. We'll go finish. All right. Oh, look at that. We already got the installer. So perfect. So all I'm do is just click in here and then hit enter on my keyboard. And then it's gonna start installing. We just give this a second. It's doing DHCP, trying to figure out what address it's gonna use. Okay, we don't have to worry about this since I'm doing Proxmox inception. If you want to take a look at the user license agreement, go ahead. All right, yep, so we got the 32 gig disk right here. So what you're gonna do is once you get here, just select whatever disk you want to install Proxmox on. You probably, like I said, you probably want a lot more than 32 gig, just in case you want to test and do some crazy stuff. Take a look. We have our virtualized network interface right here, the Intel E1000E. So for a host name, I'm gonna do pv.kd.us, which is King's Dominion, which is one of my domains. It's important to note what address you have here, because this is the address you're going to use to access Proxmox. If you want to set this to something else, you absolutely can. If you don't know what address you can use, I would just say for right now, leave it as default. Because this is the address that it was assigned via DHCP. And if what I just said sounds interesting to you, let's talk about it in the comments. So we have the gateway right here and DNS server, so we'll just leave that as it is because that is my gateway and DNS. So what we'll do is go next and then automatically reboot after installation and hit install. And now we wait. Brain rot over. Brain rot over. All right, awesome. So even if you were doing this on a physical machine, once you got to the point where you can log in like this, you can absolutely log in with the login created. So by default, the username is root, and then the password is the password that you set, for which for me is password 123. Okay, so root, password 123. There we go. All right. So you see up here, so this is how you connect to the Proxmox server, which I'll actually be able to navigate here. So let's go 10.0.10.95, and then remember the port. So you do colon, and then the port number is 8006. And then once this comes up, it's just a self-signed certificate, which is not inherently problematic. So you can proceed because you know this website. And then let's do root, and then password 123. Okay, here you can hit OK, and then boom, you have Proxmox. And then from this point, you can do a lot of cool stuff depending on how much resource your machine has. The node that this is running on has about 6 cores and about 32 gigs of RAM, so I could do a decent amount. I won't be doing anything too crazy though. But I do have a decent amount, and Proxmox is extremely good on older hardware, like older servers with a lot more cores. You can get a lot more RAM for them. So yeah, so we're at the point now where you can create virtual machines and containers is alike. Proxmox is not just for virtual machines, but you can create containers too, which is awesome.